Centuries ago, the Malian Emperor Mansa Musa sent his best and brightest scholars, explorers, warriors, and artisans across the great Western Ocean to discover new lands. They succeeded in ways no one could have imagined. Now, 3,000 years later, their descendants live and thrive on the planet of Vutoa, with plenty to learn and explore on their new home, and the Hapalox and the Landed threatening Vutoa from afar. The calls of adventure and discovery are stronger than ever. Join creative director Tanya DePass as Invicta, the High-and-Old Blade Keeper, DJ Knight as Ikemba, the Muselian Biopriest, Michael Sinclair II as Ilay, the Misajai Lightbringer, Christina Ariel as Sila 919, the Mansagene Biopriest, Gabe Hicks as Doring, the Solansi Packmaster, and Eugenio Vargas as the Storyteller, as they explore new planets, make new friends, and treat everyone they meet luxuriously. Welcome to the Motherlands.
And we're live. Hello.
Hello. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome in. Happy Wednesday.
We lost Christina.
Oh, well, I'm gonna vamp until then, because here we are. Welcome back. It's episode 4. It is the penultimate episode of the first half of season 4. How's that? I love a penny epi. I'm Eugenio. I am DM Jezians. I am your storyteller for this season. We are back, and you know what? We're gonna do things slightly out of order today, since we have a couple of cast members having some tech issues. And I will start by saying, welcome back. And we want to take a moment to thank the folks who made it possible for us to be here this evening. Oh, yeah. First on that list are DJ's eyebrows. There they go. There they go. He thought I wasn't watching him do it, but I was. Next, after the eyebrows, we of course have to... They're still going. We have to thank Logitech for Creators, really amazing organization that just is doing so much for creators out there in general. They are partnered with Blue Microphones, sent us a whole new set of beautiful Sona microphones, which you can see featured here. DJ is caressing just a little bit with the cheek. Yeah, that. They're nice microphones. Thank you, Logitech for Creators. You can go to bluemic.com to check out Blue Mic's selections, and of course, navigate on over to Logitech for Creators as well. Next up, Die Hard Dice. We are still partnered with them. We are still putting our dice out there, and of course, they got tons of good stuff for you. So you can go to dieharddice.com/Vutoa. That's /VUTOA to get a little discount at the end of your order. Full disclosure, we get a little bit of that too. So, win-win kind of situation. dieharddice.com/Vutoa. Go check out their wares. Next up, we want to thank VoiceMod that gives me the wonderful ability to be able to
speak as if I am Major Rafia.
Whenever I feel like it. Voicemod.net to check out their service and get yourself a little free demo version. Check it out, see what you think before you upgrade to their pro license. Voicemod.net. Thank you so much for supporting Into the Motherlands. And of course, last but certainly not least, just like every week, we want to thank Twitch. Twitch has made these seasons possible. They continue to ask us to come back, and we are so grateful for their support and their faith in this project. We are using, once again this week, we are using Twitch's relatively new feature called Guest Star, which allows streamers to pull other streamers and other Twitch accounts into their streams pretty easily and seamlessly. A little URL link, a little source, and there you go. So thank you to Twitch, and thanks for letting us use Guest Star for the show. All right, we're still down a couple of cameras, but I have faith. In the meantime, why don't we go around and introduce the folks that you can currently see and hear on the stream? Why don't we start this with DJ?
Oh, hi, it's me, DJ. I really do like my Blue Sona microphone, as referenced by Michael's face and Tanya's laughter. You're awesome. Thank you for coming to hang out with us. I am playing Ikemba, the Muselian Biopriest. You are awesome. Our pronouns are he, him. Thank you for coming to hang out with us for the show.
Thank you. A good reminder, because I missed that in my Oops, We're Missing folks. My pronouns are also he, him. The various NPCs that I play, of course, will catch their pronouns as we go. Next up, let's go over to Michael.
Hello. My name is Michael Sinclair II. I go by Michael Crits everywhere. I play Ilay, the Misajai Lightbringer. My pronouns are he, him. Their pronouns, Ilay, they, them. And yeah, that is us, them, all around.
There's everybody, except not. Almost, but not quite. We have a Christina with us now. So, Christina, why don't you head on next?
Hi, I'm Christina Ariel, and I play the Montsgani Bio Priest, Captain Silent 919. And I would say to my son, let's get the sillies out. Let's play this game.
Get the zillies out by playing the game, not before we play the game, just to be clear. Yeah.
During the game.
I assumed. All right, I believe we cannot see our wonderful Solansi, but I believe we can hear him. Gabe,
Yes.
you wanna give us an intro?
I am your disembodied voice. I'm Gabe Higgs, Gabe James Games across all platforms. And today I will be your ASMR Solansi.
It's everything I've ever wanted, to be honest. I love it. And last but certainly not least, Tanya.
Hi, I'm Tanya, Cypher Tier. Your Hyanal Bladekeeper. It took me a minute. I'm tired.
Listen, we got a bunch of characters, bunch of different systems. It's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, and it's been a long day. Hyanal Bladekeeper, Invicta, pronouns for both of us are she, her.
All right. That is everybody. Last week, y'all got some stuff done last week. It took a little while to get through that portal, but once you did, you made your way. Who wants to give us or at least start giving us a little recap of last week? I'm sure that you were going to start, DJ, and then you took a breath, and then you went,
No.
No, it's all Michael.
Think about it, and then I remember that Michael takes the most fantastic notes that could ever exist in the game. So there's no earth in which I could say a thing. I'd be like, oh, we were in a room, we got out of the room. And then Michael would be like, oh, we found the specific puzzles, and then we did these 3 specific things.
DJ, just give it a try. Just give it a try.
I literally just said it.
A little bit.
We were in a room.
He did. He actually did, yeah.
We got out of a room.
You did. I mean,
that was it.
Yeah.
All right. So, to expound on DJ's brilliance, basically we got into a room. We were trying to do a whole bunch of portal shenanigans. We couldn't figure out what the portal shenanigans were. We tried to, approach it as logically as we could, but it really just ended up with us jumping through it. We got into that room. We saw some of the Batantus who were hurt, and then the Batantu who were not. Both Ikemba and Captain Silent 919 ended up doing the Dragon Ball Z, the transformation thingy to help out both the patients, which I believe they were successful in getting them more stable than they were, but not completely out of the weeds as far as being hurt. Let's see. Invicta, she end up finding some sort of artifact.
I will not be explaining why I'm green. It is ironically completely unrelated to this.
Amazing.
Hold on, I have a question, Gabe.
I will not be explaining.
I have a question. Just one.
Mm-hmm.
Is it easy being green?
Stop. Michael, go.
Okay, so Invicta found an artifact that we haven't quite figured out what we're doing with it, but it did let us know that it was an artifact of Hynul ancestry, and it had some sort of blood that we couldn't identify that was somewhat perhaps I'm getting spinnies on both Cypher and,
I think you're good. We can still hear and see fine on my end.
Perfect. So we found out the blood didn't really necessarily belong to something that was identified yet, but stemmed from Hynul. And then from there, my character, Ilay, ended up finding a way to, using one of my abilities, we're able to find a way to figure out how to make a pathway outside of this maze network system and not get fried like the people who got care from Ikemba and Captain Silent 919. I think that's kind of the majority of it. And then at the very end, we got out of the cave mouth and we found that we were.
Well, now, hold on a second, because let's not downplay Ilay's contribution to getting out of the labyrinth. Did you mention what you found already at the beginning?
We found these prongs. We found some sort of like prong thingies.
You found the prongs, Ilay.
Sorry, for some reason it's a Misagi thing. Okay, I'm just gonna say it's a Misagi thing. You got so much beings that you got to meld within yourself that I've just melded with Ilay. So
I love it. I love it. Okay, fair enough.
We're royalty.
The royal we. Okay, I love the royal we. Absolutely.
And Ilay are royalty because we found the prongs that were there.
This is great.
Therefore, those were the prongs that were indicating that was some sort of force field that we shouldn't go there because then we'll get burned, fried, or something or the other. And because we were able to suss that out, we could safely navigate through the maze and get to the mouth of the opening of the cave. And then we found that we were transported very far north in the place called someplace Alabaster Tower of the city of Hollands. We found that we were the outside of that. That's I think that's a good place so we can get the game going.
Yeah,
but, that's what happened.
That was great. Absolutely. So you all did indeed find yourselves. So you will recall, and this is a perfect place to start. You'll recall that you all exited this cave after you sort of figured this maze out. You exited and you didn't know where you were for a moment. You turned around and you saw Hollands floating above you. We were close to the end yesterday, so I didn't spend a ton of time describing it. But the city of Hollands actually exists in a piece of ground that has been lifted up out of the, I keep wanting to say the earth, but it's not earth, it's Vatoa, but I don't think Vatoa, anyway. So it is suspended above a big crater with these beautiful alabaster support arches, and then the whole city rests atop this crater. So essentially, you have walked out of a series of tunnels and caves that, as far as you can tell, must exist underneath the crater that Hollands floats above. And you all have come out, turns to see the city, and the only last detail that wasn't mentioned is that as soon as you exited those caves and apparently came back into communicator range, or your signals weren't being blocked or whatever, Major Rafia was immediately on the comms with a repeating message trying to get in touch with the 6-5 of you, which Ilay promptly muted, which was everything.
That's why I didn't bring it up, because I muted it. I was like, no.
You were like, I think we shan't. So that's where we begin. And my question is, well, we're not listening to Rafia at the moment, but what are we doing? You all are here outside of Hollands, which is not where you started, and perhaps more to the point, not where your transport is.
I don't think everyone would know. How did we, I don't understand what just happened.
Nor do I.
Nor do I.
Okay, not just me, because I'm not the sciencey. Okay, as long as it's not just me.
I believe I understand at a base level what's occurred. It's just I didn't believe we had this sort of technology.
That is a really good segue to a thing that I should have said last week, but it now feels like a good time, which is that Ikemba is absolutely right. This sort of technology is very much in its infancy and looks nothing like what you just experienced. If we want to talk about instantaneous travel in our setting, and by that I mean our tables setting, right? It is limited. It kind of exists, but it's extremely limited. It's extremely energy expensive, right? It takes a lot of energy to make it work. And the machinery required is enormous. So what we, right, players think of as like teleportation or that sort of travel is really very much in its infancy on Vatoa and in the sort of Torch Planetary Alliance or whatever it is.
I'm going to bring out the item out of my pack just so that we can all, now that we're kind of just trying to logically think about the what happened, I'm going to bring the item that had caused this to happen. Just hold it in front of the 3 Ikemba, Invicta, and Silent 919 because they're the more sciencey, technology-based folks, and I'm carrying things. So this did it. We have better lighting. Any of you want to? Would this be a good time, or should I just put it back in? Okay.
I'll have a look.
Okay, let me just get it back out of the pack. Since,
I was thinking, I'm sorry, I was trying to figure out if it's the thing I wanted to do, but at this point, it needs to happen. Sorry.
Yeah.
I hand it over.
Ikemba takes it and starts the process of trying to figure out what it is and how it works and how it got us to where we are and whether or not this is the same device that he used to turn it on in the first place, yes?
Yeah, so at that time that time you were actively trying to find a way to activate it. You managed to find it, but it was largely actually through your sort of biopriest instincts. Not that this thing is organic, but it wasn't like you were interfacing with it in sort of a language-based way that you could describe, right? And as far as any further functions, at least back then, you were sort of in a hurry, but back then it was eluding you. You can certainly have another look this time if you want to toss together a pool that probably includes, well, you tell me what it includes.
I'm gathering dice as we speak, trying to make sure that I have the right amount of them, because I have a lot of D8s and...
Good. We love a D8.
Trying to get more of them because reasons, but working on it for now. All right, so I'm going to roll a truth roll for sure.
Yep.
Because
I like it.
What is this? We got to find out. Repair, because repair isn't just for fixing. The description says diagnosing and fixing damaged devices and machinery. The diagnosing part comes before you fix anything, and it's not damaged, so he definitely wants to diagnose and figure out what's going on.
Yeah. I love that we've taken this time because the information that you get is going to depend on this skill, right? If you use terminal, it would give you different information than repair. So I'm glad we're going through this.
It's not I'm not trying to bypass anything. I do kind of want to do the custom joy, but also the diagnostic scanner is a thing that doesn't count for this. But it seems like it makes more sense. And then I feel like I'm missing a die.
You've got your D4 utility die. That's perfect. It.
I may dislike myself very shortly. We're about to find out, and I got to figure out whether or not all of these dice are going to dice jail or not. Oh, 3 successes.
Nice. Okay.
And I got a 4 on the D4, which is like...
Oh, that feels good, right?
It really does.
It's 25%, and they just, it's like but yes. Okay. 3 successes. So with repair. So... the first thing that you notice is that this thing appears to be in some sort of like cool down mode. Like you don't think you could activate it again right away. The next thing that you get a sense of, and again, this is all sort of, right, this is field diagnosing, right? So if you don't have the technology to get real deep in there. But the next thing is that it seems like it is keyed. Now that you're here, it seems like the destination, like this device is specifically for this destination. You don't think there's a way to reroute the where this thing takes you. Or I should say, if there is, you need way more equipment and way longer to really get in and investigate. The third success, I'm going to say it is technology, and you sort of already know this. It is technology unlike anything you have ever seen before. But now that you have some time, some less fraught time to really sort of look at it and touch it and whatever, the materials, at least from a quick field scan, the materials look native to Vitoa. It looks like the materials used to construct it were sourced probably from this planet.
So at least its elements were made here.
Yeah.
And that it's on, all right, cool.
Yeah, but that technology is not anything you've ever seen, certainly on Vitoa, and you've been around, right? I mean, we went to a couple of different moons and planets and stuff, even just in previous seasons. Nothing. Certainly, it's not Hotharayan tech. It's not landed tech, right? It's not Hapalock tech. You've at least seen and landed ships and Hapalock, but it's none of that either.
So this is interesting because it's something that's, as far as I'm aware, never existed here. This technology is beyond our capability currently, but also it was made here on Vitoa. It's on cooldown, so we can't. I'd say something like a cooldown. It's resting. The energy needs to rebuild before using it again, from what I can feel, but it won't get us home because it was keyed specifically to this location. So if we wanted to get back, we would need to find another. I hope that's enough information. It's about what I could gather with the time I've had. Are there any questions?
At this point, all of your comms devices begin emitting like a little alert ping, and it seems that Rafia has like overridden some functions to try and get your attention. If any of you were keeping any track of it, like she was for sure continuing to send that hailing message after Ilay muted it, and now it seems she has escalated things.
I thought I only muted it for myself and not for everyone else.
Oh, I assumed it was for all, because otherwise I would have been sitting here during that whole thing going,
Sila 919. Invicta. Ikemba. Ilay. Doring. Please respond.
and I didn't want to do that.
That is very kind of you. Thank you. It would have been awesome, though.
To have contacted Rafia, Major Rafia, or would like to now, that's fine. Also, you can continue to ignore it, because I happen to think that's very funny.
I guess I'm gonna look at Doring, and because he's been with us the whole time. So
yeah, very cool, taking notes.
I'm gonna slowly look at Doring, and then click the responder to be like, okay, we'll listen to Torch now.
Right, so you unmute, and you immediately hear Major Rafia going,
Are aware that you are now in communicator range. Please respond. Captain Silent 919.
We're responding. Yes. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
We lost you there for a moment. Status.
Did you say Major Rodriguez?
Status report.
That's what I heard Michael say.
I thought I said Major Rafia. And I
That
said
thing was
Rodriguez. Well, in the other case, Major, yes.
Yes, Ilay, report.
We're near the towers of
Fallins, we are aware of your current location. The question is, how did you get there, and is everyone okay?
Remember the thing you told us to investigate? Yes, that thing. It activated. And then we were trying to get the lost folks.
We broke the fourth.
Yeah. We are trying to get them. And the only way we could do so was to go through, because we tried roping. Anyway, we went through it. We helped them. We got out of the cave system. And now we're at a cave opening nearby Hollins, which you clearly see. Update.
Appreciated, Ilay. Thank you. A transport has been dispatched to your location. In addition, another transport was dispatched to the Bitantu outpost. It seems there were other ships incoming following the 111 that you mentioned, Doring, in your report, the one that followed you all there. The Bitantu are being evacuated. We will see you back at headquarters.
Hold up.
Oh,
Yes.
you back at-
If that one ship was there, is the other ships coming to where we are, or are you not reading that? Not torch ships though, because okay.
The additional landed ships appear to have their trajectory set for the Bitantu outpost.
But no one's heading towards us at the moment.
Not at the moment.
Okay. I will, if they are picking us up and we're going somewhere, I am taking over the drive.
I will inform your pilot, Ilay.
Thank you.
Rafia L.
Ilay out.
You all, that poor woman. Anyway. Yeah, so it sounds like as soon as you all got out, and it's, in the moment, that makes sense that they were able to figure out where you were once the comm signals started back up. But it does sound like they're sending a transport for you. Things are not great back at the outpost, but they seem to have that under control. You have a little time if there's anything that you would like to do. The city of Hollins is behind you. The transports you all get basically follow my ride notifications on your devices, and it'll be there in about an hour.
Sweet.
And if there's nothing, we can also have them arrive now.
I would love to go and see if there's cheese in the city that we don't have at home.
Yes, I would like to. I've never been to Holland, so yes.
Like maybe something smoked. Really fantastic. A nice Gouda.
If I'm not
Burrata?
mistaken, Invicta, you are from Hollins. Am I right about that?
Sure.
I think. I love it. Yeah, I believe you are. And so, as Ikemba is contemplating trying Holland's cheeses for the first time, do you have anything to recommend from home?
Invicta,
That home that you remembered you were from more than 6 minutes ago?
Sheesh.
Invicta just kind of looks at. It's infectious. Invicta's like, she's been listening to all of this, and she's also just kind of like, none of you are bothered by the fact we just walked like how many miles, and yet we're at my home city. This isn't normal. Like, and y'all just want to go buy cheese?
Well, Invicta,
Or a hollandaise sauce.
You don't even eat. Be quiet.
I would like to say that while it is unsettling that we've come here, essentially teleporting, it's also out of our control. I would much rather focus on the things that I can control than to be upset about the things that I can't. So since I can control getting cheese, I would love it if you could recommend some. Are there smoked varieties here? Like, what types of cheeses would you recommend? Where can I get a good salad? All the things.
And I actually just like pull up my communicator, start tapping buttons, and pull up like the Hollins Visitor Bureau. For Ikemba.
I was ready for you to pull up Holland's Seamless. We in a hurry. They'll bring it to us.
I'm no good today. I'm sorry. It's like, I'll take you. I may regret this, but if we're gonna go to Holland's anyway, we can stop by my parents' place.
Oh.
Yeah, I do
this
have
is a
them.
delight.
Surely, but it's not every day you get to have a friend recommend going to their parents' house. So thank you. It is not customary to invite people to your parents' homes, I'll say that much. So thank you very much. And there's nothing to regret.
Well, considering that my mother has been bothering me to come visit, especially since Torch took us off duty for a while, and we're here now. If she knows I was within 100 meters of Hollins and didn't stop by, I'll never hear the end of it.
That sounds like a typical mother move. I understand.
Yeah. I'll just message her and let her know we're on the way and that there should be cheese. And I just kind of turned to Scylla. What should I have her make ready for you?
May I talk to you for a moment, Invicta?
Microchips.
I'm done. I ain't coming back.
Deborah tells us the story of the old Earth legend of Bizarro. And in the town of Bizarro, all things are slightly shifted. So what we could be meeting is a Bizarro version of your mother.
And Invicta's whole countenance changes.
And right when her countenance changes, Ikemba just kind of like walks toward Captain and like puts his hand on her shoulder and just like, Captain, would you mind walking with me for a moment?
I love all the asides that we're having today. This is great.
I just want to say that I find it hard to believe that we have presumably time traveled or shifted or teleported, but it's so far-fetched to believe that we could not have teleported to a version of the land that looks exactly the same, but just a bit different. Deborah speaks to us about this all the time, about how you expand your mind to understand these moments and what could possibly happen. It wouldn't be the strangest thing that's ever happened to us. Think about it.
I've got an idea, and this is slightly out of character, and I want to ask permission before I do it. Speaking
Never
of
been
looking
more excited.
Speaking of looking the same and acting different, as Ikemba turns, this is out of character. This is not in character. As Ikemba turns Scylla away to try to counsel her to kind of stop this line of reasoning, I want to sneak up behind her, just walk up behind her, and because it's been a while and we know each other and I run diagnostics on Scylla at some point, I want to deactivate her so we can carry her and get her looked at the lab in Hollands. But I want to ask permission because it would be a thing that Invicta wants to do regardless.
The taking of agency, and you want to be respectful.
Correct.
I'll allow it.
I can't think of a better way for you to have given your consent. I'll allow it. Yeah, that's
very Mills Lane of you. I'll allow it.
I mean, you could have said no. I'm just checking.
Yeah. I don't really feel. I don't particularly feel the need to have you roll for it since we have Silas' consent. So yeah, that can be a thing that happens.
So I just kind of catch Ikemba's eye, and I'm like,
but as Deborah says, we have to find a way and a path
I
to
just
move forward.
walk behind them and I jab her right in the off button.
Which is definitely more complicated to get to than it sounds.
It does, but I'm a Hyanol.
Yeah, yes, Scylla. What am I writing down? Her name is not Gladys. It's Deborah.
Deborah.
Okay, great. I just got to keep that call leader. I mean, squad leader.
They both run the retreat.
Oh, it's both of them. It's Deborah and Gladys. Great. I'm just updating my notes.
They're the two aunties.
Understand that the cake is a lie and that the Scylla is right.
So Scylla drops.
Oh.
Ikemba and Invicta seem to have been somewhat aware that was going to happen. I don't know about Doring and Ilay.
No. I saw that happen. I was like,
All right, Doring.
We must run diagnostics on her immediately. This is concerning.
You have just shut down your companion. On purpose?
Yes. She's been acting weird.
Define weird.
This whole Doris tells you and Gladys says that's not normal. She's usually very forthcoming and bossy. This is not.
Isn't that evolution?
Not that fast, no.
No.
The evolution
Call
of
him Bob.
cybernetics is increasingly faster than it is for
Okay,
most
there's
flesh-based organics.
evolution and then there's viruses. There's something wrong with her.
Whatever. You have social experience that is not based on research, so we can just go off of that.
And while Ikemba is carrying her, I've called for a transport to take me and Sila to the nearest university.
Yeah.
And then I've also called home to tell my parents. Long story, I'm at Holland's. I'm sending some friends over. Please give the tall, muscular man cheese. Just give him some smoky cheese. They're my friends. Just give them cheese. I don't know what Doring eats. Just give him, he's a plant. Just give him something. I don't know. I can explain what they want themselves. I'll explain when I get there. It's a long story. And I just cut off communications.
Oh, I'm sure they love that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oops. So I lost the window while I was looking up the name of the archive, which is attached to the main, the Central University of Hallins. The archive is called Primatbe. So the university that's attached there is probably where you would want to head, and I believe actually is where you studied, as I recall from a previous season.
Correct.
So so Sila and Invicta will head that way. Is everyone else heading to the? I don't know Invicta's last name. Invicta's parents' house.
I don't know if I gave her a surname.
I don't. Maybe we don't have them in Motherlands. I don't know. Is everyone else heading over that way? Is anybody else doing anything else that I should be aware of as we split the party?
The place that we ended up, does it look like it's a place that people commonly walk around?
The
Like
place where you came out, no. You can see where not far away, I mean, it's not steps away, but like within eyeshot is one of the lifts that takes you across the support and into the city. But the place where you are, no, there's like no trails here. There's no paths. It's not frequented by sentients.
Can I look around to make sure there's not a dead drop or something around here?
Yeah. Yes. Give me a pool to look around and notice things.
Can I use awareness for that?
I love that. Absolutely, you can.
Awareness, exploration.
For sure.
For the value. That's pretty much all I got.
Okay, and a D4 utility, because
Yeah.
I don't think we have any gear to bump that, but at least you get it.
That is a 3.
3 successes. All right. Man, y'all are rolling well. I just roll poorly in dice pool games, I guess.
I only roll things that I'm good at.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
That's
All right,
why I'm
3
quiet.
successes. So you look around for a while, and it really doesn't look like anyone's been anywhere near her for a while. However, however, what you do find are some older markings. You're sort of, you're looking around, and since you mentioned that you're specifically looking for a dead drop or something like that, right? We're not just surface looking, we're looking under things, we're looking in bushes and things to make sure there's not. And so what you find is a series of what look like little stone pylons, or the remains, I should say, of little stone pylons. And you kind of see them. Some of them are missing. They're not evenly spaced out. They're different sizes because they've all, eroded differently over the years. But they seem to kind of generally, with 3 successes, be heading in a sort of semicircle that heads back towards the crater of Hallins.
Cool. I'll take pictures and then I'll just pass that along.
And I will do a brisk jog over to the people we left back in the cave to tell them the situation of what's going on. And we'll send some torch folks over to, get them out of there and let them know of their location.
So you want them to just basically stay in the cave is where you're sending people to look for them?
Yeah,
great.
Because there's no point of us taking them out, taking all that time where the less we can move them, the better.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. The one that didn't walk into a dangerous force field. Yeah. Go ahead.
And I also give them the pathway, obviously.
Yes. And they take notes diligently. And then are you going to leave that? Should we be concerned about the torch? I mean, your torch. I know you're obviously very capable, but are they gonna? Should we leave a? Should I?
No, they'll come here. I'll instruct them on how to get to you.
Okay.
Just in case you need to, I don't know, relieve yourself, go out get some air.
I mean, I've been doing that in the corner, but yeah.
Don't. It's not sanitary. They just.
I mean, neither is walking into a force field, but now I know. So yeah, I mean, I'll go outside now. Yeah.
You okay?
I'm great. We're great. Thank you. Listen, thank you. I don't know if I said that, but thank you.
I'm gonna go. Thank you.
Oh, all right.
I'm just gonna head out.
One of my favorite things is conversations with Ilay and a stranger.
Yeah, I don't know why Ilay doesn't like straight. We're a community, but like if the community good, Ilay's like, we good. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. I love it. Okay, anything else before we head into Hollins? All right. Let us begin then. Oh, maybe? No, good. Okay, that's a thumb. Let us then. Aha, do we have a Sila back, perhaps? You know what? Let's start with the trip to the parents. So you all go to an older, Invicta sort of sends you to an older quarter of Hollins, one of the original sort of residential areas of the city. Most of you would know sort of the basic history of Hollins, which is that it's one of the oldest cities on Vatoa. It was originally built by the Hyanol. Of course, most cities throughout Vatoa now aren't specifically for a particular culture or species or anything like that. But originally, when the Hyanol were one of the few sentient races on Vatoa, they founded Hollins, or the original version of Hollins. That was also long before the suspension and all of that. But this is one of the original residential neighborhoods, sort of light pink stone dwellings, all up and down these fairly narrow streets. And you head to wherever it is that Invicta, guides you, and there is zero doubt in your mind which dwelling belongs to Invicta's parents, because they are outside with food in various plates and trays and gigantic Hyanol smiles on, just watching the streets as people come up and down. And every time there's somebody that they don't recognize, they're clearly like looking for a big muscular person, or like counting how many there are to see if it's the right number. But you all spot them before they spot you.
I think does that look Ikemba?
I get the feeling that's them.
Okay.
And Ikemba walks up and says, "Hello, my name is Ikemba. I believe Invicta requested
Yes. Of course, come right in. This is that was her father, who pushes his glasses back up onto his on his snout. And says, please come right in, and holds out an enormous tray of it's very clearly cheese, but also very clearly he doesn't know about cheese, so he just got a bunch of different cheese. So there's all kinds of stuff. Some of it's very nice. Some of it is sliced American, Vatoan, whatever. But he's very excited about it and sort of showing it to you, Ikemba, as he leads you inside. Invicta's mother turns to you, Doring, and Ilay and says, oh, he was very excited to finally be able to meet you. It's lovely to meet both of you. Won't you please come in?
Thank you. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. It's so good to see Invicta's doing so well, and such lovely friends. Please come right in, and leads you inside. And there is no doubt in your mind that a couple of nerds live here when you walk in this house. There are, every room has at least 2 bookshelves, right? You walk by a small little, like, what was very clearly once a potentially Invicta's bedroom, that's now like a little home lab, like engineering lab. You see one room that just like has caution tape across it, and Ikemba, you see it first, and you're being led by her father, and she's, oh, don't worry about it. Definitely don't go in there. It needs a few days to air out. It's gonna be totally fine. Very exciting research. Definitely don't go in there now, though.
Well, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ikemba.
Oh,
it is a
yes,
pleasure
of course.
to meet you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you as well. My name is Tanya. What's his name?
The father.
His name is the father?
No.
Oh.
So, because the apple did not fall far from the tree, and he'd really
Of
hoped
course.
kind of for a boy when she was born, his name is Invictus.
Oh, good. So why do you do this to me? Your cousin's also named Invicta. It's a family name.
It's
Right.
starting with INV. Look, this is their branch of the family. I will think of a surname between now and next week.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. Now, somebody is inevitably going to be cruel to me and ask me your mother's name, too. So you got anything on deck for that one? Notice I called them out ahead of time just to, make them feel bad about it when they ask.
Hey.
Well, not game.
As a callback to Rivals, her name is Celise.
Oh, that's fun. I like that. And also, I will remember it. Great. So, Ikemba, you introduce yourself. And he says, oh, of course, I'm Invictus. Very easy to remember. Also, her cousin's name, my nephew. Also, kind of her name. Really thought she was going to be a boy. Totally fine, though.
There's no issues with that. It's been great.
So you all are brought, and there is a spread in the kitchen, not just cheese, but all sorts of foods. They begin to sort of introduce you to some of them, some Halin's delicacies, some specifically Haiyanol culture dishes, and they just pepper you with questions about Invicta.
I pretend to read the scientific Haiyanol.
Now, see, you think that that's going to save you from conversation, Ilay, but as soon as Invictus notices that you are reading literally anything in this house, he comes over to you and is like, oh, what do you think? I have read this several times, and here's the thing, in chapter 4, and just starts going about whatever you are reading.
Perfume ad. That's what I was...
Just for the record, Ilay, there are not perfume ads in Haiyanol scientific magazines.
They're ads.
Well, that.
Wait
I
till
called it
Sunday.
wrongfully perfume, but it is
Yes,
musk.
Sorry. We have an energy today, y'all, and I don't know what's happening. Great.
It's lovely is what it is.
Great. So the three of you have a lovely chat with Invicta's parents, and I want to come back to you, but I do want... I thought we had it. I saw Christina was back, and I was ready to hop over to that.
This is a weird conversation for Doring.
I can hear you now.
Oh, great. Okay, good to know. Go ahead, Doring. Finish your sentence.
It's a weird conversation for Doring. I've known that person for 4 hours.
Yeah. And yet they expect you to be able to answer all of their questions fluently.
Yeah. How's my daughter doing? With fur.
With
I can,
fur.
Well,
I can
that's
tell
good.
you know
all of the statistical data about her, but I don't know anything otherwise.
Every time they go to speak to Doring, Ikemba just kind of like intercepts and just like, Doring is very new to our party. He doesn't know as much about Invicta as we do. So
it's having a merc in your friend's family's house.
Oh,
It's
right.
like, what do I do?
No. Don't let Ikemba lie. Doring and Invicta got very close, very quick. Ask all the questions you like.
I would not listen
Go
to
ahead.
the jokes that are coming out of Ilay right now. That's hilarious to us. Not the same.
I'm confused.
Ikemba is laughing in the face because
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
the idea that Ilay is saying, like, Doring and Invicta got super tight. Ikemba's like, Where did that happen?
I'm trying to dodge the conversations happening, and I love me some tea.
I
So
barely
that's
know
what.
any of you. I have known you for 4 hours when we had to shoot down people. I do not know what
You
you're
have so much notes on us. Surely you must know.
Yes, those notes tell me about who you are biologically and kind of socially.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt any sort of group dynamics, but did you say shoot?
Yes.
We'll cut there and head over to Invicta and Sila.
Yes.
All right, so Invicta, you load up Sila 919 onto your transport and head to presumably some of the engineering research labs at the university at Primat Bay.
Yes.
Great. Tell me more.
So I'm kind of going purposefully. You know, there are people like, "Oh, Invicta, what are you doing here?" And it's like, emergency, can't talk. Just people that I didn't even like when I was in college or university. And I'm going straight to the engineering bay that I used as a grad student, and I get Sila kind of set. You know, start plugging her in to run diagnostics and look for what must clearly be a virus, something wrong in her software, and I'm just kind of debating if I should have like restrained her or not, but I realized if I did, unless I use like really strong restraints, she could break out of them. She might be mad when she comes to. But her off switch has been hit, so until I wake her up, in theory, she shouldn't wake up.
In theory. I
In
love
theory.
theory craft. Yeah, absolutely. You maybe get a couple of curious glances, but I don't think anybody stops you. Are you looking to just use the university's equipment, or are you looking for someone to assist you?
If someone comes in and asks what I'm doing and I recognize them, I may ask them to show me, help me get into the deeper protocols because I'm sure as an alumni I wouldn't have that much access.
All
But
right.
I am looking for something out of the ordinary, some subroutine that's running that shouldn't.
Let's see if anyone, and if so, who comes. Oh, I need a third one. Who comes by while you're working?
In the meantime, I'm going to start a dice pool.
Yeah, and since you're using, like I said, you're familiar with the university. You went to school here, maybe not in engineering necessarily, but you went to school here. And so using their equipment, it's Holland's equipment. So that's going to be a D8 utility die instead of a D4 when you're putting that pool together. I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate. So neutrally, nobody comes by, at least for the first little while that you are in there running diagnostics on Sila.
Okay. I'm going to use a pool of information.
Makes sense.
And science. So that's going to be 2d6 and 2d8.
Like it. And then a third D8, right, or is that including the D8 utility?
That is including the utility because my science is a D8 and a D6.
Oh, gotcha.
And my information is a D6 until we get more points.
Right.
What am I trying to get?
This is, for every success that you get, I'll give you a little bit more, but in order to really find anything, you're going to need at least a DR2.
Okay.
A DL2, sorry.
Oh no, that's a 7. I thought I failed. I only got 2 out of 4 dice.
Okay, you did get 2. All right. So you are looking through there, and Sila, tell us something that Invicta would find about your new personality. This should be something fairly not deeply hidden. That smile. What you got for us, Sila? You are muted, I think, in guest star.
She's not.
It'd be hilarious if the whole time that, like, every time Invicta goes to, like, touch something on Sila, she just goes, no.
It's just, no.
And it's like an error noise. Like, that's her, like, error noise that comes out. It's like, no. So I will say what you will notice is that when you pop open the back panel of Sila's neck, which is right by the off switch, it's like one of those kids' toys where you got to get a little tiny screwdriver and open up the back, but there's just that one little tiny little screw and then this little door. So, Doring. So when you open the door, there's just a little. I don't want to. You know what? We'll go old school with this. So think about like a little like disc, like your old
Yeah.
disk drive on your computer. So it's like a little tiny, little micro disc. And I could have just been like, oh, the one that you put in your camera. But yeah, so there's just one of those, just like a microchip. And it is the programming from Gladys and Deborah. And it is just this loop of like positive thinking. It's like, but it's like toxic positive thinking. So it's like just this loop of like their current program that's just been playing over and over and is working its way into her programming.
Oh no.
So
Silas
not
found
really
Twitter.
any. Yeah, well, yeah. So not like not a nefarious virus, not a some sort of damaging code. Just like some good old fashioned like I don't know hypnosis. It sounds like just like hearing it over and over.
Self-help.
Yeah. Well, I'd say I said what I said.
So is this like playing audio? How do I know that it's like
So you can see that there is an audio file, and if you play it or get a text transcription, you can get either one. You can see the text that is looping.
I just gotta make a face at it. Like, what is this? Like, this isn't very silent.
Oh, do the thing. What are you hearing? What's she hearing?
Oh,
What
you
am
want me
I-
to? Oh, yeah. All right.
no.
Let's see.
Oh no.
Oh no. Hold on. This one has a sound on it, and I didn't realize that when I pushed the button. Some of your voice mods voices will come with background noises that'll scare the hell out of you if you're not ready for them. Okay.
Oh no.
It's a fun surprise when that happens. Okay, so you hear looping over and over in this file. Let's see.
Remember, today is an opportunity for a great day. Yesterday was a great day. Tomorrow will be a great day. Doors open when you have a great day.
I rip this out immediately. I rip it out and just if it's a mini disc, I'm strong enough. I just want to snap it. It's like, oh no, absolutely not.
I love it. Could I have the cast real quick check our group cast message real quick for something? Yeah, I mean, it seems like it was sort of insinuating itself into some of Sila's like primary cognition code just because it was in there. It looks like that. Well, as far as you can tell, it should, in theory, purge itself now that the source is gone. So it shouldn't be anything more complicated than that. It was really, from all reports that you can tell, it really was just a sort of grating, admittedly self-help, toxically positive, tape kind of thing.
Oh, but knowing Sila as I do, I'm like, oh no, this is not okay. Who put this here? Like, where did this come from? Does that waken Sila when I destroy the disc?
I think at this point you have been rooting around in subroutines long enough that yeah, Sila, you begin to come to at this point.
Well, that's unfortunate.
What?
My code isn't working.
Your code works. I can put it as shopping cart.
Yeah, okay.
Sila.
Hmm.
And are you still laying down or have you sat up?
She's sitting up, but she's just kind of like mellow.
And I kind of lean over Sila, who am I?
Invicta.
Where are you?
I would be able to tell you that, but someone turned off my power switch, so I'm not exactly sure where I'm waking up.
You know that you were in Holland.
Allegedly.
And I like actually like kind of gently take her shoulders
Uh-huh.
and I put my forehead to hers. Sila, you were scaring all of us. This wasn't you. This wasn't our captain. You were terrifying us. Please tell me that you're back to yourself.
Before Sila has a chance to answer, something happens simultaneously here at the university and also back at Invicta's parents' house. At that moment, as Sila is about to describe whether or not she is back to her old self, the doors of the lab and the doors of Invicta's parents' house burst open, and torch agents in full uniforms hurry in to find the five of you. And when they see you, Ilay, they head for you and hand you like a communication chit. And they hand one to you as well, Sila, actually seeing you, technically the captain. And the two of you have communication chits that, as you take them, begin to transfer their or begin to speak their message, which is that they have been ordered to return you and all things from your mission immediately to Torch HQ. This is a global security event. And that is where we will take a brief 5-minute break before we find out what is happening. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Go take care of yourselves. We were going to try and keep this to a pretty tight 5 to 7. So go refill your waters, take a bio, and we will be back shortly. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for keeping that break nice and tight. Hope you got what you needed. We are back. There's some sort of global security event. Oh, no. All right. So when last we left our friends, they were being stormed by Torch. It's totally fine. Invicta's parents' house was stormed. The research lab at the university at Primat Bay was stormed. It's totally fine. As the commercial break ends and we snap back to the show, we find our 5 friends are not alone. You all now find yourselves back at Torch HQ. You are standing outside of the main entrance, surrounded by Torch agents. And of course, Major Rafia is there as well. The 5 of you have been pretty unceremoniously yanked into transports and taken back to HQ with assurances that, of course, everything is fine, you all are safe, but they need you back immediately. The thing that maybe made things a little more tense was that they insisted on bringing Invicta's parents along, too.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they told you, Ilay, actually, when they came in, Doring and Ikemba and Ilay, they very quickly and very obviously scanned the 3 of you. And Ilay, they lingered on you and requested the device be turned over. I don't know if you agreed to that or not.
I'm gonna look at Ikemba first, just like a knowing glance, and be like, "Are we?"
Nay. I'm not sure we're handing them anything. I'm also concerned.
Did they come in, like, did they feel like they came in hot?
They came in a little hot. They didn't break down the door, but they also, like, opened it themselves.
Also, are they keeping an eye on, is there a handful, like, how many would you say there are?
I think there were 3 at the house and 3 at the university.
Would it feel accurate to say they're keeping an eye on each of us?
I have been playing with this pen since we came back, not realizing that it was an uncapped felt tip. I'm covered in ink. It's fine. It's fine. They're not. They definitely have an eye to Ilay when they figure out that they're carrying the device.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not like, I don't think they're expecting you to do a runner or anything like that. No.
Cool. That helps.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to shoot someone in front of the high and all's parents. I just met them.
It's a hell of an intro.
I talked about shooting people, so like it's not.
Yeah, you all continued that conversation, and it was like eventually okay, but it's a touch and go. So Ilay, we handing over the device.
Everybody going.
Nope.
Okay, that's fine. And in fact, that's great, because then what the 3 of them say is, that's fine. We will need you to stay with us. We will escort you as we return to Torch. And of course, everyone here that has been in proximity to the device, and that's when they look at Invicta's parents, will also be coming along.
That's gonna be fun to explain to. You have to explain it to Invicta, not me. That's
definitely.
That's really funny. Let's see if this person knows Invicta.
Oh no.
Let's see.
Oh no.
Oops. Nope. This is gonna be in this.
Well.
I got 2 successes. So they are familiar with Invicta, and that Torch agent goes, "Oh, I think I'll leave that to Major Rafia."
Oh no, not you taking my parents.
I believe if Invicta is going to meet us there, you may have to explain this to him faster than Major Rafia.
That's true.
It's a Solansi agent that has been talking to you, and you watch as like some of his leaves like curl up on themselves.
Mm-hmm. And then I look over at Doring and be like, "Are you taking notes? I think this is one of the note times, right?"
This is not. This is actually pretty accurate to what I assumed you all would do in a circumstance. I ran simulations. This is still going with my data.
Wonderful.
At least you're predictable in your unpredictability.
Immediately like, I would love to see your data at some point.
we can talk about the data's cheese recommendations another time.
Cheese and data are two different things. I want the data. This seems lovely.
Doring's gonna blow your mind and combine data and cheese. But anyway.
And Ikemba will eat said cheese.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
It's like recommendations based on Ikemba's different tastes with different locations in the world.
He has
for
a
the
cheese
taste buds.
sommelier for you on his data pad.
No
Ikemba,
doubt.
Get ready.
How else are you going to get to Ikemba? Like,
Lego.
like Silent needs information. Ilay needs solace.
Yes.
Invicta just needs violence. So like, you give her like I don't know,
Wow.
give her
Way
a
to,
blade or a fighting pit.
way to
both.
stereotype me. Wow.
Is it wrong though?
Well, now wait a minute. To be fair, the stereotype would have been a nerdy engineer.
Anyways, you might
See, what happened was, man, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood right now.
So
right?
anyway,
Like,
they take you back to Torch.
these silly torch agents.
All right, well, this is
Oh.
actually turning out to be way funnier than I thought. So let's now cut to you all being in the transport together. It's not a prison transport, but it sure does feel extra secure. All 6 of the Torch agents that came to get the 2 groups of you are there, as well as the 5 of you and Invicta's 2 parents. There is a brief
Oh.
tense silence as you all begin to head off, and then I assume the silence is quickly broken. Go.
Oh, I walk over to my parents. I'm like, did they hurt you?
Hurt me? Oh no, they've been nothing but absolutely excellently polite.
not my
to both,
friends,
to both me and your
them.
mother.
Not my friends,
Oh.
the torch agents.
No, we just thought. Well, no, but you know, I mean, your mother and I have been around the block. It's not the first time we've been taken to a black site by government agents. It's a story for later. It doesn't matter.
That seems definitely like a story I'd like to hear.
You've got explaining to do once we're done at Torch. Because these are not the stories you told me as a young cub.
Your mother is studiously saying nothing.
And I just kind of look at her and like flatten my ears. know-
She does not
I-
look at you.
I know that look or that lack of a look.
Oh, the lack of.
How
Right.
black did things get at the black site?
At that point, her mother immediately, yeah, I gotta keep talking because otherwise I'm gonna die. Her mother looks very quickly over to you, Ilay, and then turns to Invicta and says, "It's so nice to see you," and gives you a hug.
And I just like, it's nice to see you too, mother. And I like remove her arms very gently and I just pat her fur.
Yeah.
Which-
Sorry,
which-
I forgot. Sorry.
Which one showed up at the house?
She leans over. Now, Invicta, dear.
I asked you a question, mother.
Okay, but let's keep it even. Oh, all right, that one. All right.
And
You are grown, high and old now, and it's not my place to tell you when you shouldn't dismember people for doing their job.
And I just walk over the ones that came over to my mother's house or to my parents' house. Am I since one is a Solanti, am I bigger than them?
Yeah, I don't think any of them. None of the ones that went to your house and your parents or your parents' house are high and old. So yeah, you're taller than most of them.
And I just kind of lean over the one that the Solanti she pointed out.
He tries to stay tall and not shrink under your gaze from above. It's sort of successful.
Was Ikemba clearing his throat to get my attention?
Ikemba was definitely wanting to just kind of like smooth his way in, kind of between Invicta.
I put an arm up.
Solanti.
No.
And it's just like, no, I understand.
Mm.
I feel like we should probably get information instead of removing limbs. We might want to know who
I
sent
try to
them
cut off one
and why.
man's arm. One.
That-
You'll never let me forget it.
That was like 3 hours ago, if that. It was
Just
not very
once.
long ago that you tried to take that man's arm. We had an hour to explore the city and eat cheese. I didn't even get to eat much of the cheese because they burst in. Trust and believe me when I say I am frustrated as well, but this is also a different situation because your mother is involved, and I understand completely if you feel like having salad what I would request is asking them where their orders came from before anything else. That's just what I would do in the situation. Not that it matters.
I just gotta bare my fangs at Ikemba, and I was like, do I look like I eat salad to you?
Roughage is good for all. Just throwing it out there.
I will go sit beside Doring and see if they're writing notes.
100%. It's more like
I'm just doing one of these with my pack on like my chin, just like
Wow.
looking over at Invicta and Ikemba and looking back at Doring in the notes.
he's definitely taking data on common responses. It's almost like feeding information into an AI to pre-generate what's going to happen next.
There's an episode of Dogs in Space about that. Anyway.
Episode of what?
Dogs in Space? Doesn't matter. So, you all eventually... Oh, did you have a question for this man, Invicta? Sorry, I got sidetracked.
I did, but then everyone tried to keep me from like turning him into like a Caesar
Not me.
salad.
Yes. Ikemba's like, yes, no Caesar salad shall prosper in this particular vehicle, hopefully, for the time being.
Also, they work for us and we work for them. They are people of the same division. We could just wait to see what they do.
I outrank them.
That's probably true, but you probably don't outrank the person that gave them their instructions. Do not shoot the messenger for the captain's orders.
I didn't
Otherwise,
say anything about shooting. That's your thing.
that is a figure of... Oh, God.
To be clear, I didn't give any orders.
These has nothing to... How have you all survived?
If you find out, let me know.
Yes. The answer to your question is yes.
The idea is the people that have come here, the Torch members, are also members of Torch. It is someone above all of us has designated they needed to come and retrieve something of agency.
Well, they could
No.
have done that without breaking into people's houses and rounding us up.
And all things considered, I have no doubt that many of you would make the same choice without consideration for those people in the same way if you were ordered to do something of agency.
Nah.
The
No.
data says otherwise, considering you tried to take a man's arm. But that
It
is
was
behind us.
dangerous.
Okay.
Shade.
A man
Thank you, Silo.
is not more dangerous than a door. And doors can be replaced in an easier fashion than limbs. That said, we could inquire with fellow Torch members in honor and kindness if they would be willing to share with us what was going on so we could act more cohesively.
Your dad, Invicta, has just been like enraptured by Doring and just has been nodding along. And without thinking, when Doring finishes, go, well, that makes a lot of sense, Invicta, don't you think?
Oh God, don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And she just looks, she like just turns her head and looks at her father. Father.
Invicta?
Invictus.
Your cousin? I don't think he's here. Is he coming? Oh, is he going to be there too?
I get a snack and crunch it.
Her mom asks for one.
Wow. You guys go, father, isn't that still your name?
Oh, yeah, but I'm father.
Not right now.
Oh, you're upset with me. I
Oh,
should have
yes.
kept it.
Yeah.
Yep, I got it. I got it. I got
Yeah.
it. Sorry. Yep, grown. I got it. It is not long after. Sorry. One more time. Do you have a question for this guard?
I was going to, but at this rate, I'm never going to get to ask this question. I actually like turned around and looked at Sila.
Mhm.
Sila, don't you find this odd? That Torch brought us into Torch.
Yes.
You're not going to say anything.
No.
Okay, well,
Yes.
are you going to say something before we get to
Could you
Torch?
excuse me for a moment?
We're
Where
on
are
a
you
ship. Where are
going?
you going?
Into the corner.
Oh.
I just need some personal space.
Oh boy. As Scylla heads to the corner and gets herself settled into a sulky little solo spot, you all arrive at Torch and are immediately just sort of very no talking, very quickly escorted into the headquarters, taken down several levels. Rafia's office is up, as we may recall. You are taken in an elevator in the downward direction, and eventually led through some hallways and into a pretty bare sci-fi concrete room. Where there is a table and enough chairs for the 7 of you. The guards will not be remaining, and an 8th chair that, surprise, surprise, holds Major Rafia, awaiting you all. And she stands, and the first thing she does is decidedly not command structure of her. She tries so hard so often with you all to like stay, professional and stuff. But she stands up, and the first thing she does is put her hands up, and she immediately says,
I understand. Stand. Please understand that we have to speak. There are good reasons. I apologize for the abruptness with which you were brought back to HQ.
Rafia, why did you bring
So
my
Scylla
parents?
is going to be the last one through the door, making her way, and she's going to she's sees that Major Rafia is talking,
huh.
and so she kind of like notices everyone is engaged, and
no.
she pulls down, and there's an extra chip, and so she waits for them to turn around, and discreetly like pops her like peace and tranquility back in.
I knew there was a backup. I wasn't sure how quickly it was going to get put in. Okay.
You know me too well, Deeds.
I mean, okay, great. So Scylla is in a corner doing that. Invicta, however, you were saying something to Rafia. A good solid question, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't even address her as Major. I'm just like, Rafia,
Yeah.
why did you have to involve my parents? And I'm giving her like that dead stare of like, this better be a real good answer.
We will have a full briefing as soon as we are able, but you must understand that
No.
technology.
And she points towards Ilay, who still has the device.
That technology has the potential to completely ruin any and all defenses, security measures, and other implements that we have in place to protect this planet from both the Hapalox, and the land.
You couldn't just tell us return immediately.
So why couldn't you just send for that instead of abruptly sending for all of us?
It is unclear yet at this moment to Torch how many of. It is unclear at this moment to Torch who of you.
And she takes a moment to take in all 7 of you.
Have knowledge of the workings of this device. The knowledge of this device and the way that it functions cannot leave this building.
And I just kind of, I actually
so can
like
we
kind
leave
of
the building now that you have it? I'm unclear what exactly the purpose of dragging not only us but Invicta's parents here serves.
Go ahead, Invicta.
I start to actually advance on Rafia because now I'm just angry.
Yeah, totally. She is one of the few folks that you know and interact with on a regular basis that won't back down from you. She knows what you're capable of, but she has too much pride and steel for that. So she doesn't back down, but she understands the situation, certainly.
So we didn't even get a chance to figure out what it is, let alone how it works. We could have just sent it back to Torch if you needed to know that badly. It has not been a whole day, Rafia.
And yet you are aware that the site that we sent you to was also attacked by landed crews. More are en route, presumably to find that device. No, Invicta, security was of paramount importance, and I apologize for inconveniencing your parents, but it was necessary that you seven and the knowledge of this device be secured in this facility immediately, Lee.
That's
She
kind
said,
of,
No, go ahead.
Oh no, Invicta just kind of starts stalking around the room, muttering and like really like a very unladylike high and all.
I love it. Yeah, she sits back down, but she doesn't say anything. She like sees that happening, wants to give you a minute. Anybody else? Anything that I should be aware of?
Sila was asking something.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Why? Well, she kind of answered that, right? Why here and why not just the device? And basically her answer was, apparently Torch feels that this device is powerful enough and dangerous enough to security on the planet that any knowledge of it couldn't be left outside HQ, at least until some things are sorted out.
Doring is going to ask kind of a rhetorical question to confirm that there was a hope of not spreading too much information through channels that were not entirely secure, and to ensure that if there were witnesses to something that all of us could be collected in the same place. And then he like asks a question mark, basically intentionally,
right?
Hoping to say this in layman's terms. That Rafia is not.
Thank you, Doring. Yes. That is essentially the long and short of it. Additionally, however, the fact that the 5 of you, as well as several of the Baton two surveyors, were transported several thousand kilometers in an instant meant that technology could be used to bypass security nets and other forms of defense here on the planet, should the landed or the Hapalocks get their hands on it.
He'll also mention the old structures leading towards the crevice area that he saw.
Oh, that's news to her.
Yeah.
That's new. And she sort of takes a moment. You all, even you, Doring, have seen her because you've worked with her before, have seen her. She, much like her, if you remember, this is way back in season 1. I don't know that we've talked about it since then, but she does have a cracked faceplate that she keeps and that she particularly likes. Most Montsageni will, embroider their injuries and such, but she keeps this. And there's also a sort of tick when she is recording information or communicating silently through her processors. And she sort of does that. There are a few little clicks as she files that information away, Doring. And she says...
Important information. Did you happen to get samples and or visual recordings of the items?
I did take pictures of all.
Great, yeah, and she takes another few clicks and she sends those somewhere with the promise that they will be looked into. But once things have, she goes through that. Once things have settled, Invicta's probably still upset, but at least the long and short of it has been out. She sort of looks to you all and sees if there's questions. Ilay.
Interesting. You seem very concerned about the people who know how to use this object, or have used this object, but I'm curious as to why the 3 Botantu are not here with us. As much as all of this has been very fun for me.
All 9 Batantu have been brought to Torch HQ. The 2 injured are currently unconscious in our infirmary. The other 7 are being held currently, treated well, provided with comfortable lodging and food. We will be debriefing them after we have spoken with you.
And the landed, that was also...
She is silent for longer than she probably needed to be when you ask about the landed. But eventually, she looks right at you, Ilay, and she says,
"They are also here."
Why the pause? Anyone else here think that pause was strange?
It was very thick.
I don't necessarily find it strange. I think it may be information that is above our pay grade, and Rafia may have almost slipped in a way that superiors may not appreciate.
Are you at least writing that one down, or is it just us? Just us? Or
It's just you. I have with her before. I know how she works. You all are the outliers, and I am letting.
You will. The five of you will be briefed upon everything to do with what we have learned so far when the moment is appropriate. Until then, unfortunately, Doring is correct. There are certain details about our ongoing operations and research into the device that must be kept at a high classified level.
I have a question. Thus far, I feel I've probably been the most involved in the process of understanding this, which I still really know nothing. Could you not have asked? I'm right here. Would you like to know anything? Is there anything I can help you with? Where are the scientists that would love to know more about the device? I can give information where possible, but holding me here, it's going to be a quite intriguing concept, Major. So, who do I need to debrief on what I've learned?
She allows herself to look a little apologetic in your direction, Ikemba, as she says,
It was all my apologies, Ikemba. It was always our intention to debrief the five of you for any information that you have and then involve any and all of you who wish in the research, ongoing research about the device. You were brought to this site first because there was some explaining that needed to be done, and apologies that needed to be given. For example, Invicta. On behalf of Torch, I apologize for the surprise way in which you and your family were brought here. Invictus and Celise, I apologize on behalf of all of Torch for taking you from your homes. It is not an action that Torch takes lightly, but as I have come to understand, the two of you may be familiar with the necessity.
and well, I'm not going to venture a guess to how Invicta feels about this, but both of her parents just sort of nod at that from Rafia and seem perfectly mollified. But she continues and she says,
So now that we are all on the same page, if you all are ready, we can begin the research project and debriefing of your experiences with the device.
All right.
sure.
You all are taken upstairs and are taken into the labs. Ilay, you will eventually have to at least surrender the item for analysis to the computers and the equipment, if not someone.
I give it to Ikemba. When they say surrender, I give it to Ikemba, and I'm let Ikemba decide what.
Okay, great. Yeah. Invicta, real quick before we go upstairs and start dealing with the actual research, both of your parents are taken to be debriefed, and Rafia is sort of like tells you that from what she now understands, based on what the agents told her, they didn't even see the device at the house, right? Ilay never took it out until the agents arrived. So as soon as they're debriefed and it's clear that they don't know anything about it, they're going to be sent back, taken back to their home. The door will be, if it was in any way damaged, it will be repaired, that sort of stuff. And they seem, for what it's worth, your parents seem totally happy to answer the questions.
Do I get to see them after they're debriefed?
Yeah, they'll. In fact, your dad is the one who's like, well, actually, could we maybe just stick around for a little so we can see Invicta before we? I mean, I certainly don't want to interrupt anything, but if there's a few minutes that we could have to, your dad just goes. So yeah, they'll be around, and their transport. They'll take the. It's the least Torch can do to send them a transport whenever they desire. So yeah, that's fine.
Do we still have our old quarters at Torch or no?
I assume so. Yeah, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't.
I as long as no one stops me, I take them to my old quarters.
Yeah.
I'm like, hopefully this won't take long. And I promise, Dad, I will try to not take anyone's head off or arm.
Just feels like a troublesome career move, but you know best.
Well, if I take someone's head off, it'll be my last career move. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
And I haven't forgotten what you said on the transport about black sites.
We'll see you soon, dear.
And I just wave at them. I'm like, stay out of my drawers.
Your mom's aren't. No, she isn't. All right, great. So they have their little debriefing or whatever. You all are set to help out with research, and you have a couple of things working for you at this point. So what we're going to do here is you have Torch's resources, right? Clearly, this is priority 1 for Torch. There are not going to be a ton of other people helping you. Some super high clearance scientists and such will be also in the lab with you all, but this is a big deal for Torch. So resources are not an obstacle. You have access to any and all of the equipment that is here. And what I am curious about is what each of you would like to either do to learn about it or what you might like to try and focus on figuring out about it. You've got some time. This is a little bit of a timey-wimey section because this kind of analysis to something this, the weird word to use in a sci-fi setting, but like alien to you all, right, is going to take some time. So we're going to sort of zhuzh the next probably days into this little montage here. So, well, yeah, what's the plan? And you all can do different individual things with it. You work together however you want. You've got, like I said, you've got time and equipment at your disposal.
We do a montage?
I mean, we could do a little research montage as you all tell me what you're trying to learn about it and what you're doing with it. Yeah.
Here, everybody just like.
We need a montage.
So what's the first clip that we see in this studying the object? Yeah, Ilay, go.
I know. For me, I think I'm going to talk to the group and then see, well, obviously the group consents. I'm going to see if we can get, I can't remember their character's name, but we can get their help.
Whose character?
My brain is not working.
You don't mean Koza, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see if we can get their assist, because you said all of the resources is available to us.
Yeah. I mean, here's the truth. I think like Koza takes her time because she's in the middle of something that's very exciting to her on the sphere. But yeah, I can't imagine she would say no to trying to tinker with a new piece of technology.
Ooh, hold on. Hey. Okay. So when Koza left, Silo was feeling some type of way, and during my upgrades for the season.
Oh, no.
And so now she took on some of the fixer attributes during the upgrade. So a fixer can spend a relatively short amount of time examining a piece of equipment or technology and gain an understanding of what it does and how to use it. Difficulties in appraising or analyzing a machine are reduced by 2. If reduced to 0, they know everything about the item, from the date of construction to the manufacturer to the intended purpose and any recalls it may be a part of.
Any recalls? Did somebody write that in this document? That's
Somebody
hilarious.
wrote that.
That's so
Recalls,
funny.
I love it.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You can do that, so I think the first shot of the montage, right, is Ilay getting Koza to come up and be a part of all of this, and then the next clip that we see, and Ilay, we can do some research on your part in a minute, but the next clip that we see then is Sila and Koza sort of like they're together working on the same thing and like doing the same thing at the same time, and Koza points at you. Yeah.
I just want to say that Sila is dressed like Tony Stark when he was in captivity working on the suit, and has on like sleeveless ribbed tank top and cargo pants. Gross. And I'm just saying, she's like sitting there and she's got the little thing pulled up, so she's doing like the little throw of the blue computer screen.
Totally,
like looking at Koza, like trying to like.
Koza is using that spider back. Koza hasn't walked in weeks on her legs. It's just that spider backpack. So she like one of the legs like nods at, or like waves at you as you're doing it and like gives you a thumbs up. While we are, this montage is delightful. I should say there is a mechanical bent to this. You all should put together research pools, and you like put them together, roll them up, count your successes. And I'm actually going to we're going to add up all of the group successes and give it one big total that I will then mete out information on. Who's got the next montage scene, though? You can put a hold on your dice roll. And yeah, you got it, Doring? Ikemba,
Nope. Doring first.
Okay.
Doring was going to try to see if they could get samples of any soil or sediment from the device, and then see where that stuff was commonly found on planet, to at least like come up with a couple different regions that it might be relevant to, or if it's one of those things where it's like, this is a metal that is commonly found so far down, but then it's like, who would have the resources to go that far down, et cetera, et cetera. And I was just going to lean into like survival, so like understanding of the environment to survive, so on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Doring, the next scene of the montage is Doring picking tiny little pieces, right, of like dirt and soil out of the inner workings from where it fell on the ground in the cave, and from deeper in where you can tell like it's some sediment from longer ago. You're taking little samples of the metal casing of it, all of that sort of stuff. Absolutely, love it. Ikemba, shall we head to your little scenelet next?
Yes. Ikemba is working with the scientists and trying to figure out how it functions. Because Ikemba definitely wants to know if it's a thing that he can assist with, of helping them to understand how to get the teleportation functional.
Yeah.
Because his thing is, how does the energy work? How is it getting energy? That is his.
That's interesting.
Blown away by that. He's like,
how
is this being powered? It's so small. To be able to take the whole team somewhere else, he is just needing to know. Because in his mind, he could have one of these set up in like a storage room that's full of medical supplies. But just like if he needs to get somewhere to help somebody, how is he able to better assist saving someone's life by using this technology to get back to a specific place?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So you are starting from where you already have some information, right? You know how to activate it. You figured out that it was on a cooldown timer for a little while. So you start there, right? And so I think we see Ikemba in particular making use of those same biopriest abilities that he used to activate it in the first place, and have it, and surrounded by a team of researchers who are taking notes with every little, algorithm switch and click you do and all of that. Yeah, absolutely. Invicta, do we have an idea for yours?
Invicta is basically just, she wants to take it apart if she can, but obviously that doesn't work. So she's probing it, she's scanning it, trying to figure out the energy, kind of like Ikemba.
Okay.
But she's also like low-key angry at this thing because we got dragged out to the Batantu. It's caused all these problems. But she's like done everything except pick it up and bite it to figure it out.
Amazing. Yeah, I think the end of your montage is just like your montage scene rather, is a supremely frustrated Invicta like picking it up and going, no, okay. And like almost biting. No, okay, I'm going to put it down. I love it. Ilay and Sila, was there anything more specific you wanted to toss into the montage? No is okay, because we got little scenelets from the two of you. But if there's anything specific you want to tell me, and then we'll get to these pools.
Unless this thing has any sort of glyphs or languages that we don't know, then Ilay can't really help unless this thing runs off the energy of drama. And if it doesn't, then also Ilay can't help with it.
Amazing. No, there's no writing on it. And I think at this point, like the analysis of its command functions and code and that is still real basic like binary math stuff. I don't think it's language yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
In that case, I'm just gonna meditate and for the absence of drama, so that I can participate in more drama.
Of course. Once you're ready.
Done.
That's right. Sila, anything in particular?
No.
Great. So I'm going to come around and get your numbers of successes, but here's a surprise. You can all now roll a D12 and add it
Eugenio?
if it's a yes.
Did Doring do anything?
Yeah, Doring is doing soil samples and material samples.
Got it.
Yeah.
I so missed that. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. You can roll a D12. That is your utility die from Torch Resources. So you can have a
Instead of the
D12
D4.
for yes, correct. Because this is, like I said,
Sorry ever received.
it's the, oh, did you roll a 1?
No, I'm saying it's the worst sorry I've ever received.
Oh.
Torch is just like, oh, here, we're gonna
Here,
throw like,
heavenly.
how about a raise?
How about a raise? I mean, listen, you're provided for.
I-
Yeah.
So, am I rolling anything or no? Because I'm contributing nothing.
Oh, no. You totally, I assume that you, I mean, unless you're telling me that you participate in none of the research, you can still certainly roll. It's just about whether or not.
I can do, like, yes, drama's great. I loves drama, but they also like taking care of people. So, you know, if anyone needs snacks or massages or some sort of thing to kind of get the brain juices going, that's what I provide.
I like that. Build your pool around that, around caring for them as they research and work long hours into the night or whatever. I like that because I do want everybody to participate.
Cool.
Because the DL's very high. So I need all 5 of you contributing. All right, let's go around real quick and let me get these numbers. Let's start with Doring. How many successes?
4.
4. Ikemba.
Also 4.
All right.
Let's go.
Knocking it out of the park. Sila. You still working on yours?
3.
3. Okay. Invicta.
3.
And Ilay. I know I just gave you yours. So it'd take just a second. 2. All right. 4, 8, 10, 16 altogether. We love to see it. Okay. It takes the better part of a week of really just diving into this thing because at every turn, just when you think it starts to feel familiar, something completely bananas off the wall left field pops up in your research that just doesn't make any sense. Like, oh yeah, this is sort of how we code for, oh, nope, completely different. So it takes a while, it takes some process, but here's what we find out. Doring, we'll start with your materials analysis. You, two main interesting things that you discover from yours. One is that the materials, we talked about how they probably are native to Vitoa, but what you find is that a lot of them are, like you said, pretty far down. Like to find any quantity of these minerals and metals, you gotta go pretty deep. And I will say, because with 4 successes, I will say, so that tells you one of 2 things. One, whoever built this has a ton of resources to dig deep. Or whoever built this built it so long ago that these materials were higher up in the, like, in the shelf, right? One of the 2. The other thing, like I said, you start to figure something out and then it goes off in left field. The other thing that you notice is that the samples, the for lack of a better term, the soil samples that you pull from within, definitely not from Vitoa.
Hate that. Nope.
And I mean, you can run through a list of like planetary database, whatever, to try and see if a match comes up. That will take time. But like not Vitoan soil.
Nah.
Ikemba, you, particularly the power issue that you have, you go through everything you can think of. There is there's no fusion, there's no fission, there's no combustion, there's no sci-fi thing. I don't know. I ran out of forms of power.
You're good. I get it.
And finally, you are, sort of taking whatever readings from this thing. And you notice it's almost so slight as to not be perceptible, but you notice that the temperature readings around the device are ever so slightly, I mean, if we're talking like earth science, like a few degrees a few Kelvin colder than the surrounding air. And eventually what you realize is that at least right now, this thing, and it's not in cooldown mode anymore, but it's not active. You can activate it if you want, I suppose, but it's not currently active when I'm talking about this. It seems to be pulling literally thermal energy from the air to maintain its like idle state.
Ikemba's in on that. The research begins immediately.
And so we're going to take that now and head to what Invicta and kind of Scylla were researching, which now that you know this, right, you do have, and Rafia, I will say, also sort of pokes her head in and helps with this as well. It occurs to you that if there are more of these things around, this might be a way, particularly if they're active, this might be a way to locate them. Because it is the temperature differential is very specific. And Ikemba, you can, since you know how to activate it and this and that, right, you can sort of get it to power up. I will say you can activate the portal with no problem. It remains for several hours without closing. Presumably no one goes through it. I'm going to go ahead and make that assumption, at least during this research phase. And it actually remains active for several hours. And so you're able to get like, that sets the air at a certain temperature, right? Idle state sets it at a very specific temperature. And those two temperatures do not fluctuate when you have them in those states. And so you can use that to search for areas that don't match their surrounding temperature, but do match those specific meters, right? So that's a thing that you all can set in motion. Where's my list? Here we go. The other thing that you, and this is definitely a joint project because a little bit of this is organic material that Doring found in the inner soil samples. Some of it is just happenstance as Ikemba is trying to find more about its control functions. But what you eventually figure out is that the portal did not remain open for hours in the cave. In fact, once you all started going through it, it started clicking and presumably counting down because eventually it closed up again. This device seems to be keyed to some kind of DNA. It is keyed to essentially begin the shutdown process of closing the portal once a particular set of DNA sequences pass through the portal. And what's even weirder is those DNA sequences match that fur Invicta found. And the last bit of information that eventually comes to you all, and it takes a while to process to really get an accurate reading, is a sort of carbon dating of this thing. And in case there was any doubt at this point, this device is thousands and thousands of years old. Predates the arrival of the Musalians, predates Halins, is old. That's where we're going to leave it for this week. Wow.
Well,
hey, look, it's not a cliffhanger. Listen, I don't ever want to hear about a cliffhanger again. Thanks so much for hanging out, y'all. This has been an interesting little episode. We met Invicta's parents. We got them arrested. We learned about the device. It's great. I love it. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Thank the 5 of you for playing today and helping me tell this story. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's go around real quick. We are at about 1 minute to 9, so let's keep them quick. But let's go around and let folks know who we are and how they can find us and support us between now and next week's episode. Let us start, please, with DJ.
Oh, hi. I'm DJ. I play Ikemba. Musalian Bio Priest. Our pronouns are he, him. I am pretty much everywhere at DJ Night. You find me there on Twitch, typically. I tweet, I Insta, I TikTok. I do all the things. That's pretty much it. You know where we're at. You know where I'm at. You're here. I'm going to shut up. You know.
Michael.
I am, yes, I'm not muted. So, hello, yes, my name is Michael Singular II. I go by Michael Crits everywhere. I do voiceover work, I do D&D stuff, I do Magic the Gathering stuff. Cool thing that just dropped, Humans of Magic, where I get interviewed for 2 hours by a wonderful interviewer. His name's James. He's amazing, probably one of the best interviewers out there to do it. So go and check that out. It's like 2 hours long. So if you really want a deep dive on me, check that out. I'm also in the Nuts and Bolts podcast, a podcast about magic that drops every week. We just released an episode today. And I'm also part of the Feyforge Academy. We have a new episode of that D&D setting that takes place mostly in the Feywild, but we're not anymore. Anyway, that releases every Friday. You can go check me out there. I do things. Check out my Michael Crits for anything else that I will be doing. Sick.
That's it. Moving on over to Christina.
Hi, my name is Christina Ariel. You can find me at Christina Ariel on Twitter and all the other things, except for the sites where people took my name, which is really weird because it's a really specific name. But it's Christina Ariel, Krystina Arielle. Oh, so please watch Headless by Shipwreck Comedy. It's really hilarious. And we just had episode 9. It's myself, the Shipwreck Comedy team, Mary Kate Wiles, Sean Persaud, Janae Persaud, Gabe Greenspan, who is one of the most Ask Gabe, hilarious, other Gabe 1, Gabe 2. Ask Gabe is one of the most hilarious people in the world. It's a really fun show. We're really proud of it. We worked really hard to raise the money to go into it. Oh, and also, if you're going to be in Pasadena, LA area, November 4th, we are actually doing a fall festival where you can come and watch Headless with the cast. I'm going to be doing tours. This is my character, Judy. There's going to be a Ferris wheel, and you can actually watch Headless, a Sleepy Hollow story in the town of Sleepy Hollow set that we use to make the show, and it's going to be really fun. So I hope that you guys will do that. Also, if you know me, you know that I love Bravo TV, and so I'm going to be on the Who Asked Me podcast talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion part 3, and also about the Married to Medicine reunion and other various Bravo properties. So if you like that, go and listen where your podcasts are found to hear me and Giselle Brooks talk all kind of stuff. And Potomac is back. So watch Real Housewives of Potomac. It has nothing to do with me, but it's just good.
We love a media rec during our outros. Gabe.
Hi, I'm Gabe Hicks, Gabe James Games across all platforms. I do a bunch of stuff. I've got a Kickstarter up. You can check it out on my Twitter. Also, Gabe Greenspan's dope. He's one of those dudes where like he's handsome and a decent person, and it kind of pisses me off that his name is Gabe. Like, let me have something. Pick one or the other.
That's fantastic. I love it. Tanya.
I had to make sure I wasn't muted. Hi, I'm Cypher. I'm your Hynal Bladekeeper here. On Sundays, though, I'm the DM of Season 14 of Rebels Waterdeep. We have an Indiegogo running to keep our show afloat for 2 more seasons so we can tell our epic story. We want to. Eugenio is also on the show. Basically here and Sundays because, you know, shout out to B Dave. Black Dice ended last week. So tomorrow's going to be real weird, y'all.
It really is. It really is. Sorry
I
for
might just
interrupting.
text you. No, I might just text you at 5. Be like, can we just get on a Zoom call? Yeah, that's it. I'm raising money for Extra Life for Kids through AMD. I'm on part of AMD Red Team. I believe DJ, you're on AMD Red Team as well.
I am.
And Friday, I almost forgot. Friday, as in 2 days from now, I will be in a charity game with B Dave, Jenny D, Alicia Marie, who else? Jeremy Cobb from 3.5 Black Halflings. I messed up their name. Please don't murder me. And Shar for Waiver Right Crisis Center, their Canadian org, and come throw money at us so you can make B-Dave be even more terrible than he naturally is. He might throw Tiamat at us. I don't know. But check Twitter's Waiver Right Crisis Center, all of our socials. And me, I just stream on my channel when I get technology to agree with me. So come and hang out.
And I'm Eugenio. I'm DM Jazzy Hands on the internet, on Twitch and on Twitter. I am heading to Big Bad Con tomorrow. So if you're going to be in San Francisco at Big Bad Con, I've got a couple of panels on Saturday, and I would love to say hello. I will be there for the weekend. I will, fingers crossed, and the hotel internet don't rise. Both Latia and I will be attending Rivals this week from San Francisco. So hopefully we'll be there on Sunday with Tanya. Monday night, I'll be back on the Codename channel with episode 3 of Idle Champions presents Hunger of the Far Realm, with as Kent, also from Rivals of Waterdeep. That of course also starring Urban Bohemian as Virgil, Anna Prosser as Anna Prosser as Evelyn, Holly Conrad as Strix, and Tristan Falcone as Walnut with DM B. Dave Walters. That's Monday night. Tuesday I'll be back streaming on my channel. Wednesday we're here, and I also have a podcast, The Last Refuge. We have 2 more. We just dropped an episode today. We got 2 more episodes left, and then we're going on our final hiatus before we record our 10th and final season. The show's been going almost 6 years now, and we're just about to wrap up. I'm really excited. So go check that out anywhere pods are cast. That's The Last Refuge, a D&D podcast. And that's me. Thanks, y'all, for being here. We'll see you next week. I think, where are we headed now, Tanya?
I think game uses, because they are playing one of my favorite games, Mafia 3. Also, hey, can't.
Yeah. Oh, don't do it. Don't you dare do it. No, stop. Don't. I'm leaving.
Do it.
He knows what I was gonna say.
Dang.
Y'all go watch. It doesn't matter. Daddy.
It's not the same. We just need the
What isn't
clip.
it though?
Wow, you even faded back in. And Brian's in the chat.
Did it just get spicy? What is this?
Yeah, what's going on?
Okay, so
I am
real
very
quick before
concerned.
we go off air, you all have to
Sure.
go and find the VOD of this week's Idle Champions Presents Hunger of the Far Realm, because Urban Bohemian, playing Virgil, made a joke that was so... I don't even know what word to use to describe it, but it broke the entire rest of the cast, and we had to go to break early. So
Perfection.
go check that out. It is
That's what
right
should be.
before break in the VOD, and it's amazing.
And there's the clip.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Brian.
Preparation.
And I will grab
Proper
this clip so I can
preparation
send it to
prevents
all of
piss
you
poor
once we're
performance.
done. All right, the raid's going. We're going to go see Afro Game Muses is playing one of my absolute favorite games, Mafia 3. And I will see you in a week, y'all. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Later.